Hello, and welcome back to Sinister Sisters.
Shrimp is
I
back, baby.
am back again. Shrimpy's back. Tell a friend. I'm here. I'm ready to tell you about murders.
Woo!
Lucky you. Yeah, because today is my episode. And because we don't have a season theme anymore, we're talking about the Murdaugh murders, which
Ooh.
just happened. Very new and
Oh.
fancy. And literally just came to a conclusion this week.
Oh. Crazy.
As far as
Okay.
I know. It was this month, at least. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Not this week, but this month. It came to a conclusion, which is really exciting. We love when justice is served.
We really do. Yes. Excellent.
We do. Okay, so the content warnings for this episode are murder / familicide and mentions of attempted suicide.
Okay.
Yeah, so today we are talking about the case of the Murdaugh family, which is really funny because it's spelled Murdaugh. And so if you were to just see that, really quickly, you might think it says murder.
Yeah.
But it's pronounced Murdaugh. And
the more you know.
We're talking specifically about Alex Murdaugh, who is the patriarch of the family, which is also really funny because he spells his name Alex, and it's short for Alexander, but he goes by Alec.
Okay. Interesting.
If that's not a red flag already. So, he has just recently been found guilty on counts of 2 murders for the killing of his youngest son, Paul, and his wife, Maggie. So,
Okay.
this case is actually relatively confusing, and there's 3 stories, or 3 or 4 cases that kind of go into this one that kind of speak to motive or why it might have been done. So
Okay.
there's a lot of information. So let's just get right into it. Alex Murdaugh was born on May 22nd, 1968 in Hampton County, South Carolina in the United States of America. He comes from a very prominent legal family in the state and is one of many generations of lawyers, which we will get into in just a second. He attended the University of South Carolina and graduated in 1990 with a degree in political science. He then went on to attend the University of Virginia School of Law, where he earned his law degree in 1994. After completing his education, Alec joined his family's law firm, Peters, Murdaugh, Parker, Els, Roth, and Dietrich, or PMPED, where he focused on personal injury and wrongful death cases. Wrongful death cases, guys. Keep that one in your noggin.
That's weird.
Yeah. He became very prominent and well-known in the area and was known for representing some high-profile clients in the area. He was also active in his community, serving on the board of the South Carolina Bar and the South Carolina Association for Justice. He also volunteered with various charitable organizations. The Murdaugh family was extremely prominent in the Low Country region of South Carolina. 3 generations of the family all served consecutively as the circuit solicitor for the 14th Judicial Circuit between 1920 and 2006. And this status and lineage, I suppose, led locals to call the 5-county district Murdaugh Country. It's not all good, though, because the family was really well known for representing members of the KKK.
No.
Yeah. The Ku Klux Klan.
Why? They don't
Twats.
deserve legal. I shouldn't say that actually, because it is your legal human right to legal representation. But no, we don't fuck with
Yeah.
racists.
We don't fuck with the KKK. Just go away. We don't need you here if you are a KKK member. So, Richard Alexander is his full name, Richard Alexander Murdaugh. And again, he goes by Alec for whatever fucking reason. Because it's not even
Alec
like,
Xander, you know.
yeah, I suppose, but it's spelled Alexander, Alexander,
Yeah.
Alex. And it's not even like he has to, like, his first name's Richard.
Yeah.
So why he goes by a shortened version of his middle name anyways doesn't really make any sense, because it's not like his dad, grandfather, and great grandfather all had the same name, like
Yeah.
Rufolodolus or something. Rufolodolus. You
What?
know, that name that rich people have.
Rufus? Rudolph?
No. Randolph. His name's Randolph.
I this is maybe like a totally unfounded opinion, but in my opinion, rich people go by like generationally rich people go by their middle names a lot.
Yeah, because they all have the same first name. Because it's a family name.
Also, I this is a side note, but you know, in like those shows where um like I don't know, Hampton Kids, there's always a boy named Trip.
Trip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's the third. So and so the third. He's like triple.
Yo.
I literally had like a minute when I learnt that information.
That makes so much sense.
Right.
I just thought
Yeah.
it was some weird nickname that they came up with for
Right.
rich kids. It's like that time we were sitting in my living room and we were talking about rich people who take land, and Sinister Mum says something about land grabbers, and then we both had the epiphany about the land grab family in
Oh,
the Sims franchise. And that was
yeah.
fun.
That was a lot. My world
Yeah.
was turned upside down. So
Yeah.
just
What
kidding.
do
That's
you
really
mean
dramatic.
the super rich Sims are bad people? What do you mean?
Yeah. It really goes to show that the original probably first three Sims games were very like socially conscious and they had like an actual sense of
Yeah.
humor to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. Um so that's what I was saying, is that he doesn't have to go by Alec, because
Yeah.
he has his own first name. He is the Richard, whereas
Yeah.
everyone else is the Randolph, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, the fact that he goes by his middle name is, like, not really necessary, and then he goes by the shortened version of his middle name, which isn't even the same name. Like, Alec is not short for Alex. Anyways, and he spells it like Alec, he spells it with an X. So it's Alex, but he's like, no, it's Alec.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, it's fucked. Anyways, so he
What a
married,
tangent.
yeah, right, Margaret Kennedy Brandstetter, who goes by Maggie, and they had two children, Richard Alexander Jr., who they called Buster.
Of course.
Buster. And their second son, Paul Terry. This case has a bunch of stuff attached to it. So if I go off on a tangent that doesn't really seem to be any kind of anything that is important, it is. It's just there's so much that was like surrounding this family at this point that like all of these things could be considered a motive, or it speaks to Alex just overall general ickiness as a human being.
Okay. So it's
Okay,
relevant, but it
so
is a tangent, but it's kind of on brand for us anyway to go on tangents. So
yeah. We
I
love
love it.
tangents.
Stick along for the ride.
Alex Murdaugh. Why?
You want to call him Alex Murdaugh?
Yeah. Murdaugh. Alex Murdaugh has been accused of several financial crimes, including embezzlement and
Oh.
insurance fraud. In September of 2021, Alec was arrested and charged with multiple counts of fraud and conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. Authorities allege that Alec conspired with a former client to stage his own shooting in an attempt to collect a $10 million life insurance policy. The
Oh
alleged
my god.
shooter, Curtis Edward Smith, has also been arrested and charged in connection with the case. Basically, he was driving on the side of the road and he got this person to shoot him like in the head, but like not really, just kind of like grazed him, right?
Right.
And it was all a farce.
That is an insane way to get $10 million. Like, that could have gone wrong in so many ways,
Yeah.
and his family still not get the life insurance money.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oof.
It's also really dumb because I'm making some pretty flagrant assumptions right now, but these people have been very prominent in this area and have been lawyers for years, like
Yeah.
decades. They have a mansion, they had a hunting lodge with dog kennels on it. I'm pretty sure like $10 million would be like a water drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was also accused of embezzling funds from the family's law firm. The firm accused Murdaugh of misappropriating funds for his personal use, totaling millions of dollars over several years. He had a dummy corporation that he got clients to send his lawyer fees to, saying that it was like part of this law firm, but it actually wasn't. It was in his name only, and so he could take all of the money out of it. It's like, but it looked more legit than just like, oh, send me this check based or written out to me, because it was
right.
like I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a financial like investing company. It
Okay, yeah.
wasn't. It was just a dummy corporation, but
That's what it
he
looked like.
yeah. He also got a friend of his who was named Chris Wilson, who was also a lawyer, and they had done a case together. And Alec got Chris to write the lawyer fees checks to him personally, which was kind of the beginning of all of this because the accounting department of Alec's law firm was like, hold up, this is not how you do
Yeah.
business. One of the accounting ladies from this accounting department at this law firm went to the chief financial officer and was like, this is suspicious as hell. And they were looking into it, whatever. And
Yeah.
just a few days before the murders happened, Alec was called in by this person, this chief financial officer. I think her name was like Julie or something. And she was like just kind of questioning it, kind of like, can you explain this to me, whatever, like what's
Yeah.
going on, not accusing him of anything, just kind of like, what's the tea?
Yeah.
And during this meeting he got a text message and he told the CFO that it was about his dad who was terminally ill and he had to go and be with him. So it cut off this conversation and the conversation was never finished because the rest of this case happened.
Okay. Okay.
So it also turns out that
Hmm.
that text message, it was about his dad, but his dad was actually doing a lot better. And so he wasn't being texted like, you need to come here now, your dad's on death's door. It was much more like, your dad's doing a lot better today, like whatever, just kind of a check-in text.
Yeah.
But then he used it to get out of this meeting.
Sus. Just kind of a shitty dude in general,
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah. Altogether, Alec was charged with 102 criminal charges and 19 indictments relating to financial fraud.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's one possible motive for the murders, being that his entire financial house of cards was falling down. The idea is that he was actually extremely broke, and so he was stealing and embezzling where he could.
I see.
And he didn't want, because the law firm he worked at was opened by his great grandfather or something like that. So he had a legacy or whatever, and so he didn't want people to find out that he was actually just a shitty dude and stealing a bunch of stuff. And so like
I see.
he killed his wife and his son instead.
Such a weird
Um
departure. Like, where where was your brain going that you thought that that was a good idea?
well,
Like,
because
just
if you think that your your wife and your youngest son are killed, and you are a lawyer who does wrongful death lawsuits all the time, you know full well that death and murder has to be beyond a reasonable doubt in court. So if you just plant a little bit of doubt and
uh
they don't think it's you, people are gonna feel extremely sorry for you and think, oh, well, his wife and son were just brutally murdered. Like, let's not try him for this financial fraud that he did. And let's just kind of
yeah,
push it under the rug if he agrees to, I don't know, these certain terms and conditions or whatever. You know?
I guess,
It's a
yeah.
dumb idea. It's a dumb plan, but I understand the thought process.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another case that was kind of suspicious surrounding this family was the death of 19-year-old Stephen Smith, who on July 8th in 2015, he was found dead from blunt force trauma on a rural road in Hampton County, and the case was ruled a hit and run, and there was no suspects arrested. Smith was openly gay and a high school classmate of Alex Murdaugh's oldest son, Buster. Witnesses interviewed as part of the original investigation repeatedly implicated Buster as having been involved in a relationship with Stephen, but the case went cold. According to the
Whoa.
Greenville News, rumors hinting at a cover up and the possible involvement of one or more members of the Murdaugh family began circulating around the Hampton County area soon after Smith's death, and according to the Beaufort County Island Packet, the case, quote, reeked of insider interference. In
Jeez.
June of 2021, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, which is shortened to SLED, which is cool, reopened the investigation into Smith's death based on evidence found while investigating the deaths of Alex Murdaugh's wife and son, which also occurred in June, for which Alex was charged with murders. SLED announced it on March 22nd, 2023. Smith's death was a murder and not a highway accident, but no charges or indictments have been issued relating to Smith's killing as of March 2023.
Wow.
So that's just another really suspicious,
Yeah.
really icky thing surrounding this family. And again, ties into that wrongful death lawsuit tie that Alex Murdaugh has.
Right. Yeah.
And also speaks to the prevalence and sway that this family has in this area.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. The
It's horrible.
third death, or I guess this is the second death, but the third thing to be suspicious about this family is Paul Murdaugh, the youngest son and the one who was eventually killed, was involved in a boating accident on February 24th, 2019 in Beaufort County, South Carolina, that resulted in the death of 19-year-old Mallory Beach. Paul was driving this boat when it crashed into a bridge piling, throwing Mallory and several other passengers into the water. The tea is
Fuck.
that Paul was extremely intoxicated, and it was 3 couples that were on this boat.
Yeah.
Paul and his girlfriend Morgan, I believe. Another friend and his girlfriend whose name also began with an M, and then Mallory and her boyfriend. And they had all been telling him, Paul, that is, too, that they would walk home. They don't need to go on the boat. They don't need to, they could stay. They had stopped at a friend's house for an oyster bake or something. And this is where Paul had got even more intoxicated.
Mm.
And people were telling him, like, no, we don't, we'll just stay here. We don't need to go anywhere on the boat. They did all
Yeah.
get back on the boat with him. And then he crashed into a bridge and killed Mallory.
Jesus.
Her Mallory's body was not found for a week. So she was found a week later, and an autopsy revealed that she had died from blunt force trauma, as well as she had water in her lungs. The crash sparked an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the accident, and questions were raised about whether alcohol or other substances were involved. They absolutely were. There was also body cam footage of the police officer, one of the first police officers that attended the accident, talking to one of Paul's friends, whose name I believe was Anthony.
Mm.
And Anthony can be heard saying something along the lines of, but this is Paul Murdaugh, so nothing's going to happen to him.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. How old is Paul and Buster at, like, right now? Or
I don't know how old Buster is, but Paul is 22 when he died.
okay.
Oh, bless you. I couldn't find any like birth dates for any of them, because when you Google Murdaugh family, it's just about this case, and then like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
more prominent members.
Bits and pieces, yeah.
Paul Murdaugh was initially charged with 3 counts of boating under the influence, but the charges were dropped later due to a lack of evidence. He was also facing charges of providing alcohol to a minor, as Mallory Beach was only 19 at the time of the accident, and this case was still pending at the time of Paul Murdaugh's death in June 2021. Another kind of wild part is that Mallory Beach's father has an outstanding wrongful death lawsuit against the Murdaugh family for this accident. And
Jesus.
upon the police arriving to the scene of Maggie and Paul's murder, Alec can be seen immediately, like very, very soon after they get there, talking about this boat accident and basically asserting that it was the reason that Paul was murdered. It was a vigilante that didn't like this boating accident that had happened and whatever, and this person had come and killed Paul and also Maggie because of this.
Yeah, that's suspicious.
Yeah.
You'd think a lawyer would be better at lying.
You'd think, because he also, like, just straight up lied to the police. He said he wasn't at. So Paul and Maggie were murdered at their hunting lodge, their dog kennels down at their hunting lodge. And Alec had said that originally he was never there. He was not there on the night. And then he actually was. It was proved that he was by his cell phone usage. And also a Snapchat video that Paul had taken literally just before his death, minutes before his death, that you can hear Alec in the background of yelling about something. The victims were killed with hunting guns, and so it wasn't like a clean death in the sense that there was actually there was a lot of blood and things like that.
Yeah.
And Alec told the 911 operator that he had attempted CPR on both of them. When the police arrived, he was in a completely clean white t-shirt. And that was one of the sticking points for the prosecution, is that how on earth could he have done CPR on either of them and not even got a tiny little piece of blood on himself?
On a white t-shirt too. Like
yeah.
even
It's also
sweat
sorry.
or I don't know, like any other sort of bodily fluids that would maybe be associated with doing something like that would also
Yeah,
show on a white t-shirt
yeah.
because
They spoke to the Murdaugh's housekeeper as well, who testified that the outfit that he was seen in is not the outfit that he went to work in that morning, and
mm,
the Snapchat video shows him in a different outfit again later that evening. So it
okay,
makes sense that he works as a lawyer, so he went to work in a sports coat and a polo shirt, like a nice outfit, got
yeah,
home and changed into like cargo shorts and a t-shirt, and then he
sure,
changed
yeah,
again based on the evidence. He changed again into a white shirt and another pair of shorts. Why? Why are you changing so much?
suspicious, yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
So, another suspicious thing surrounding this man is that on February 2nd, 2018, the Murdaugh's longtime housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, suffered a severe head injury when she fell down the front steps at the family's Moselle estate and died on February 26th, 2018, of
Wow.
complications that included a stroke. This Moselle estate is their hunting lodge where they go and hunt.
Okay.
It had been reported as a trip and fall accident, but no coroner was notified, no autopsy was performed, and the death certificate said it was caused by natural causes. A coroner testified that describing her death on the death certificate as natural was improper because she died of a head injury,
Head injury. Yeah.
which is not like a natural cause.
No. No, a stroke is a natural cause, but the stroke was caused by
A head
the
injury, yeah.
head injury. Yeah.
Because of a fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a natural cause. Alec then told Gloria's two sons to sue him for a wrongful death case because he
Wait,
has
what?
insurance for things like this and everything. Yeah. So Alex said that he told Gloria's sons, "Sue me. It's not going to affect me, but you'll get some money." Basically, right?
That's weird.
And they won. They won this insurance settlement, but by 2021, they had not received any money. According to multiple indictments, Alex Murdaugh and the two other attorneys conspired to steal the Satterfields' $4.3 million insurance policy settlement. The scam worked by diverting the insurance payout to Alex's bank account and then
Oh,
not notifying the Satterfields that the insurance settlement had occurred. It involved forgery, Murdaugh's law firm, and the Palmetto State Bank. The Satterfield sons, represented by malpractice attorney Eric Bland, were ultimately able to recover more than $6.5 million during the subsequent lawsuits. But this
good.
has also been stated that originally Alec had been a suspect from the very beginning, basically, but originally it was thought that perhaps the Satterfields were getting back at him or whatever. But they
Mm.
did not know until like very recently that this case had actually been settled with the insurance company and that
Oh,
they did have all this money that was supposed to be given to them because Alec was like, I'll take care of it. Like, you don't have to come. It'll just be traumatizing for you to have to go
right.
and talk about your mother's death again and blah, blah, blah. So he completely cut them out and they didn't know. But
What a fucking horrible person.
yeah. On September 15th in 2021, authorities announced that they opened a criminal investigation into Satterfield's death, and in June 2022, authorities received permission to exhume Satterfield's body to continue investigating her death. So
Wow.
hopefully we'll have some charges related to that as well pretty soon for Mr. Murdaugh. On June 7th in 2021, Alec called police from his cell phone at 10:06 p.m., saying he had discovered the bodies of his 22-year-old son Paul and 52-year-old wife Maggie near the dog kennels at the family's hunting lodge, located on a 1,700-acre estate in Islandton, South Carolina. Both had been shot multiple times and with different weapons. Alec initially claimed that at the time of the killings he was with his mother, who has dementia.
Convenient.
Yes. In October of 2021, it was revealed that South Carolina Law Enforcement Division had regarded Alec as a person of interest in the homicides since the start of the investigation. In July 2022, Alex Murdaugh was indicted for the murder of his wife Maggie and Paul. Prosecutors suggested a motive where Murdaugh sought a distraction from his financial crimes, which were beginning to go public, and to garner public sympathy. Alec pled not guilty, of course. On March 2nd, in 2023, Alec was convicted of both murders, and the following day he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His defense, ladies and gents, was that he was addicted to drugs. He attributed all of his issues to an apparently very severe addiction to opioids. There are some issues with whether or not he actually had this addiction, because he was claiming to be taking like a ton of opioids every single day, but nobody that he was close to noticed any different types of any changes in his behavior or like anything. There was no like financial trail of huge like withdrawals of money to pay drug dealers. There was nothing that could kind of corroborate this idea that he was taking an addiction to opioids. But I suppose, everyone experiences addiction differently, but also being addicted to opioids does not make you murder your wife and son.
Yeah. It just sort of, to me, seems like he's looking for a scapegoat, but in
Yes.
turn painting people who are struggling with an addiction, which is a disease, with
Yeah.
a negative, dangerous brush.
Yeah. Basically just a shit person.
Yeah.
Like, at
Side
the
note,
core.
I don't know if you know this because you weren't here last week, but I did an episode on the opioid crisis last week.
Yeah.
Weird
I watched some
connection.
of it.
Some of it. It was long.
And I have the attention span of a gnat. So. Anyways, that's Alec Murdaugh and his shit behavior throughout his entire life.
So he's in prison now.
He's in prison for the rest of his life.
Good.
He was found guilty on both charges of first-degree murder for his wife and his son.
It's really bizarre to me that all three of the men in that nuclear family were involved in wrongful death at some point.
Allegedly. Don't actually know if Buster was the reason that Stephen Smith died. So.
Yeah, it just seems like weird connection, though. Even to just be, maybe he didn't have anything to do with the death at all, but to be, suspected or to be present when the death happened, it seems weird to me. And the housekeeper, that's what you said, the Gloria, also?
Yeah.
It just seems too much. I mean, obviously, people sometimes have really traumatic lives, and so it's not outside of the realm of possibility for there to be a lot of death around a single family, but it just seems like too much weird, unexplained deaths for a family of 4 to have experienced in 5 years.
Yeah, and it's all traumatic deaths.
Yeah.
Like a boat accident, maybe a car accident, falling down the stairs. That's all very traumatic. Like nobody died of cancer or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all and they're all suspicious too.
Yeah, suspicious violent deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. There is a documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it's on Canadian Netflix because I haven't looked, but it's called Murdaugh Murders, about this dude and his life. So if you want more information on that man, you can get it there, can't you?
Crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely, like, fucking insane. Like, and just the fact that there are all of these unexplained deaths around this family, and that's like what he focused in as a lawyer, was wrongful death.
Yeah,
That's also really weird.
it is. Yeah.
Also
Huh.
super weird is that they're a family of gingers.
Oh.
Buster, or I don't know which son, but one of the sons was fucking fire engine red.
Also weird.
Yeah.
And very rare in
Same.
the US.
Yeah.
Well, in North America,
Yeah.
actually, in general. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like maybe rich people have too much power.
That's a hot take.
Like, I feel like, oh, people think that I am gay with this Stephen Smith man. I should kill him. Like, hello?
Yeah.
Or maybe, oh, you know, I have this boat. I'm going to go and drink, get super intoxicated, and then drive into a bridge and kill my friend. But, you know, I'm a Murdaugh, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting with these like really high-powered families what they get away with. And when
Yeah.
everything unravels, like how complicated the web of like lies and deception and
Yeah. Because he could
scamming
have just
really is.
not. Like, he could have just, you have a 1,700 acre estate. If you're really poor, sell it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to steal from clients and
Literally.
create
Yeah.
this whole financial thing that is
Yeah.
just super fucking wild.
Yeah. Also, you're rich, so you don't need to take your boat home. You can call a cab.
Yeah. Yeah. Call a fucking cab.
Yeah.
But I think it's just, I don't know, like, for sure, but I think there's, when you're rich as fuck and your family is so very well known in the area, there's kind of a little bit of, you probably feel quite invincible. Like,
Yeah.
oh, nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm a Murdaugh. I
Yeah.
can just pay my way out of it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I've never been vomitingly rich, which is rude, because I would love to be.
Hey, maybe we should do a social experiment where somebody gives us a whole bunch of money and see if we turn out to be shitty people. Any takers?
I would really like that. I don't think we'd become shitty people. We would become shitty people. I think I'd just buy a whole bunch of fast food and then fucking die.
I would eat myself to death.
Yeah. But I also think that we would, like, donate to the SPCA and things like that.
Yeah. Man, if I didn't have to worry about paying my bills, like if my needs were taken care of and some of my wants, I would do like I would love to do things that are good for the community.
Yeah.
I would love to work with people who are unhoused or people who need help with day-to-day organizing day-to-day tasks and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So many things that I would prefer to do than what I do
Yeah.
for a career. Actually, like, my career is fine. I just wish I didn't have to be there for 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But I have to be there for 40 hours a week to be able to afford my rent and
Yes.
for groceries and my car payment and for my cats
The goods.
and, like, the ghouls.
Yeah.
Do you want to see
Well,
one?
that's depressing.
Yeah. And then there's people out here that are fucking rich as shit and they're like, oh, I'm actually gonna kill my wife instead.
Yeah.
Bitch, just go throw axes or something.
Literally.
This is Suki.
Aww. It's baby.
She could be very good at ASMR. She purrs
Oh.
so loudly.
Probably. You should do that. You should start a cat ASMR.
I should. Because actually, sometimes when I'm like stressed at work, I'll listen to an ASMR podcast of just cats purring. Because I am a cat bitch. Like, I am a cat person at heart. Like,
You are.
dogs are cute as fuck. We love dogs. But I don't know, there's just some of these little baby, little things. They're just so sweet.
Yeah, I'm a dog bitch.
Yeah, cat's a dog bitch.
Ironically.
Well, I feel like it's our personalities a little bit, too.
Yeah, I'm needy
Like,
as
when you think...
shit.
Yeah, when you think about, like, stereotypically what a dog is like,
Yeah.
super sunshiny, like, all the time. Happy most of the time. Energetic most of the time. And that's cat.
Yeah.
Whereas when you think
Yeah.
stereotypically about a cat that is not a cat, a feline, they're like kind of aloof sometimes, and you have to like befriend them most of the time before they, will let you touch them. Like, that's me.
Likes to sit in the sunlight.
The sun likes to have naps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is true. I am a dog.
It is. And I am a cat.
It's also kind of funny. I don't know your partner probably well enough to make this assumption, but Skinny Boy is also very dog-like. Energetic, wants to be doing things all the time, tries to have a positive outlook on life. So it's interesting
I would
who you
say
attract.
the generic boy name is Golden Retriever energy. He's like very happy to just be doing things. Doesn't always like to actively do things.
Yeah.
But like is really positive. Super sunshiny man. Super tiny and small. We love him.
Tiny and small would not be the descriptors I would use, but
he's
hey.
6'5". Actually, you know what I find out?
Yeah.
He's like 6'4 3/4. He fucking lied to me.
Oh, that's jail. Instant jail.
I know, jail. We love him though. He's very small.
He's very nice. Anyway,
okay,
I guess
well,
we turned it around.
Sims now.
We turned it from a negative, shitty ending about rich people to a positive ending about golden retriever boys.
Get yourself a golden retriever, man.
Literally.
10-10.
10-10. Okay, thanks, friends.
I don't know, because I think I would say Skinny Boy is kind of cat energy.
Yeah.
Just kind of vibes sometimes, just kind of sits there.
Yeah, but I feel like dogs do that too.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, he's just kind of...
He's got, like, lapdog energy, I feel like.
Yeah. Ow, Suki.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thanks for listening.
Bye!
Bye!